Hello, we have returned. We are back in action once again. I don't know why I said that so slow, but today we're doing something that a lot of people have requested in the past. Today we're talking about a complete and utter whiny bitch. I could go on and on with the adjectives, but today we are talking about Devon Hannibal Nicholson. Yes, the indie dude who sued Abdullah the Butcher. The dude that sued Abdullah the Butcher that's also like sexually aroused by UFOs. The same dude that is completely bitter against Kevin Owens. Because Kevin Owens is just a charismatic 10 times better version of him. He would have been a super megastar if it wasn't for Abdullah the Butcher giving him hepatitis C. Yeah, alright, gang. Let's go ahead, stop messing around here, and let's go back to Old Faithful. We haven't done this in a while because we haven't done a video like this. Let's go ahead and get to the cage match comment section. He has a lot of fucking comments. The first one that really caught my eye was from Triple Crown, and he wrote, "First time I heard of Hannibal was during the whole Abdullah the Butcher scandal. Felt quite sorry for him at the time. Everybody knows the story about him not getting signed due to Hep C or whatever it was, so not going into that. Watched a lot of interviews he would do online. He wasn't the most charismatic of people. In regards to his ability as a wrestler, I just don't see it. He tries way too hard to be something special when he is anything but. Below average in all the categories when it comes to professional wrestling, the only thing he had going for him was size. I must admit, some of the shoot stuff he'd do with the older wrestlers was pretty interesting. I specifically remember him and Terry Funk getting into it at a restaurant, I believe. But he has a lot of baggage and strikes me as somebody who is mentally not all there. Lots of controversial stuff. Can't rate him anything other than a 0. Bad wrestler, bad person. Overall, bad." The next comment that caught my eye states, "Hannibal is a dangerous worker, a crappy worker. He's a total mark for himself, and I suggest you do some research on how he's a total mark for himself, and how he's mentally unstable. There's apparently a long history of drama with him. He should not be allowed to ever step foot in the ring again after what he did to that referee recently. He should be arrested. Not to mention his lack of wrestling knowledge. He literally just reads everything off of Wikipedia and openly mentions this while interviewing wrestlers. He doesn't know anything about the people he's interviewing until he searches Wikipedia. Hannibal is dangerous, a liar, with much proof out there of him being a liar, a crappy wrestler, an all-around piece of dung. Don't believe his sob stories." To wrap up this section of the video, we're going to take a look at the Juice is Loose's comment. This guy is the most uncharismatic and boring person I think I've ever seen in the wrestling business. Has no personality, no in-ring skills, no work ethic. Don't get me started on the promos with that monotone and unbearable voice of his. I used to watch his shoot interviews because he let the guests talk. Thank God he didn't talk much as he's a weirdo. But after the incident with the ref and his whole attitude about it, I now really dislike him. Totally unprofessional. Safe to say, on the surface, the guy doesn't have the best image to a lot of people. I will say, yes, he does deserve a little bit of sympathy because he did end up losing his biggest opportunity because he was diagnosed with hepatitis C, which the court appointed that Abdullah the Butcher had given to him. But man, he spent his entire life just being a whiny and just bitter bitch about it. It's okay to be frustrated from something like that, and it's okay to not be okay with it, but it's a different thing when you make your entire life about blaming another grown man. Speaking of that, as I alluded to earlier, he is also extremely jealous of Kevin Owens. He's real jelly. Which Devon Nicholson is like if you took Kevin Owens, divided his in-ring skill by 10, and then gave Kevin Owens 0 charisma. He's bitter because Kevin Owens got the opportunity that he never truly got, and he's continued to just drive this into everybody else's mind. He's projected his own envy onto thousands of other people to see, and any chance he gets, he tries to get a legend to bury Kevin Owens, preferably because of his attire. Now, I don't know about you, twin, but to me, that seems just like some straight up lame shit. Jealous of another grown man because instead of complaining about things that weren't given to him, he actually worked for it. Also, to a certain group of people, Hannibal was like this cult legend, and they think he would have been the next big megastar. Some of the comments on his YouTube channel are just utterly insane. Like, this dude's not your dad, bro. Also, speaking of his YouTube channel, this is kind of a lame thing to point out on my part, but his thumbnails are so crazy. We were talking about Gooners the other day, bro. Some of that stuff would be Gooners Paradise. And I will give credit where credit is due. He was a decently successful indie promoter. But on the contrary, he also has a history of like shoot hurting people and then straight up fleeing in a car or something. So basically, he's a hoe. Speaking of shoot hurting people, let's go ahead and get the referee thing out of the way. He beat the referee to a bloody pulp. Regardless of if the referee agreed to that, he went way too far. And that's something that has defined Devin's career. Going too far and not knowing when to stop. Also having a huge ego and being way too big for his own shoes. I think that's how the saying goes. I don't know. But back to the referee incident, he nearly murdered the guy. Beat him so bad that he tore an artery in his head and lost, like, so much blood. According to people that are, like, big in the situation, the referee is lucky to be alive. I'm sure the referee agreed to something. He agreed to work something, but probably not, not to that extent, right? But, a normal average referee is going to agree to taking a spot that deathmatch wrestlers probably wouldn't take. There's gotta be something wrong with the Hannibal guy. Like, he's gotta have something mentally wrong with him, because you don't just do that to somebody and you're all the way there. He also had an incident recently where he allegedly assaulted his girlfriend. Like not super recently, it was a couple years back. And I guess it got dismissed. I don't know. I have looked through 3 pages on Google and none of these articles have told me anything that like semi-represents a verdict. Also, just learned this as I'm recording. In 2013, he got fired from some gym attendant job because he saw somebody that he had fallen out with and like slammed his head against something. Because that's a valid response to a videographer you had fallen out with. Yeah, that makes sense. And now we're gonna get into the super infamous case that everybody knows about, how he sued Abdullah the Butcher for giving him Hep C. And I'm not here to tell you whether or not Abdullah the Butcher gave Devon Nicholson Hep C or not. I don't know, and I never will know. But according to the lawsuit, he did. He sued him for 6.5 million doubloons. That's a lot of money. He got 2.3 mil out of it, so he got a pretty good amount, I guess. He got more money there than he probably would have ever made for WWE because he wouldn't have got out of developmental. If we're being honest here, he wouldn't have made it out of, I think it was OVW at the time. I don't think he would have made it out of OVW. And truth be told, he probably could have gotten Hep C from anybody because he bled everywhere. And again, I'm not here to say whether or not he got it from Abdullah the Butcher, but regardless, due to his talent as well as his attitude, I don't think he ever would have made it far in the business to begin with. He had a crazy ego for somebody that was just an indie guy. He did the "that's not gonna work for me, brother" on Dan Payson. Because he was booked to lose to the guy and he didn't want to. His ego took over. He didn't want to lose to Dan Payson. So instead of going with the finish that they had originally planned, he decided to shoot and put him into an actual arm bar. He almost broke the dude's arm and Dan never fully recovered from it afterwards. Also, you want to know something funny about that situation? He ended up fleeing the scene in a getaway car so he could avoid confrontation from the boys in the back as well as Paysan himself. Basically, he was acting like a little bitch. It's insane for like somebody that is so unknown and like has such a little platform that he has such a big ego. Or did, I don't know. Well, he still has an ego. Who am I kidding? He didn't take responsibility for the referee situation. And that referee is going to be dealing with that for the rest of his life. It seems like Hannibal's entire formula is doing these shoot things just to keep himself, keep his name alive. And how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Not all publicity is good publicity. And he has a persona where he puts on a hood and goes on as the Blood Hunter, I think it's called. So we're corny now, I guess. How many yes men does this guy have in his circle to continue to tell him that these are good ideas or he's in the right? How many yes men does he have in his circle? And for some reason, this is completely out there, and I don't know what the lore behind this is, but he is damn near sexually aroused by UFOs. Which there's no problem with that. That's fine. If that's what you want to do with your free time, you can do that. But gang, we don't even fuck with you on Earth. What makes you think the aliens are gonna like you? All right. So what did we learn today, class? I believe that we learned that Hannibal is an absolutely horrible human being. He's got a 7-mile rap sheet and doesn't deserve to have a spot in the wrestling business and would have never made it in WWE to begin with because he is as dry as your mother. Or as bland as a sheet of drywall. And also, remember kids, never blame everybody else for your failures when you don't make an effort to be better yourself. Anyways, that's going to wrap the video up on my end. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and if you liked it, and if I earned it, I would appreciate it if you liked the video as well as subscribe to the channel. We on that mindset, grind set. I don't even know what the goal is at this point. We just trying to go far. And y'all ought to go follow me on Twitter, and you should definitely join the Discord server. We're pretty cool over there. We watch a bunch of wrestling shows over there. It's pretty cool. But again, that's going to be all for me. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay safe. God bless.